Everybody, this is the Reluctant Nabi, and I'm gonna put up a thought that I had on Facebook, and I am here to tell you if you are an American thinking Afro man, no matter where you go in the world, and you get too popular, these women, all right, these simps, and our government and those who's running the left will find ways to discredit you and shut you down in the worst way. And this is not the first time things will happen like this. Andrew Tate is not the first person either. All right. And the media run by the left is the adversary of all American people who's been given permission to push propaganda under the Obama administration, and that's all they've been doing. They are now adversaries of the people and liars in every aspect of the way, meaning that they'll put out some truths, but they put out so many lies, say like with the jab, say like with how the elections were run, say like with everything, say like the Twitter information that's coming out. All right. And so what we're seeing happening to Andrew Tate is not the first time stuff like this has happened. All right. It's not the first time stuff like this has happened. Remember the FBI COINTELPRO. Now, I want y'all to understand this. This was the FBI COINTELPRO. This was a documentary by Dennis Mueller and Deb Ellis. This is public record of what the FBI did to Afro leaders and people that they thought were a threat to getting Afro people to think for themselves. Because in this country, on paper, we're still slaves if you're going to call yourself black people. That's why I refer to us as Afro people. All right? Pay attention, y'all. This is the blueprint. All right? Their goal is to prevent a coalition of militant black nationalist groups. Prevent the rise of a messiah who can unify and electrify the militant black nationalist group. I'll go back over this again. This is important. This is what the black women are using, number 3. All right? Now, this is what they do to us, right? Guess where this is coming from? FBI COINTELPRO document. Who's running the FBI? The left, the Democrats. Who's been running the FBI that's been persecuting us? The left, the Democrats. It hasn't stopped. It is now more in the open thanks to the Twitter document drops. All right. So now, when we look at what's happening to Andrew Tate, this was my thought on Facebook earlier today. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Reluctant Nabi back again. All right, and um, let me get my other stuff. As I talk to you about what's going on here. So, y'all are familiar that Andrew Tate was arrested. Okay? And true to form, a lot of the simp culture had convicted him already based on media, the news media, the same news media that would treat them unfairly. All right, I want y'all to pay attention to this. Hold on for a second. This is the same news media that would treat them unfairly, but they don't care. And the reason why they don't care, because they are female-minded. These people these dudes are so jacked up. Hold on for a second. Hold on.
There we go. Okay, these people are so jacked up in the head that they allow the worst to be promoted about them. All right. They're so jacked up in the head that anytime anybody says anything negative about an Afro man or any man in the media that has stuck up for himself, that has no reason to do any type of criminality, they'll do that. Now, remember I told y'all, I used to put this thing up about the COINTELPRO papers. It says when they want to discredit a man, an Afro man, how do they do it? All right. They use sex. All right. They use sex as a weapon. And so basically, police go by to arrest Andrew Tate. We don't even know why he was arrested, right? Nobody in the media that posted in these sorry magazines put an arrest paper. They just went with it was because of child and airline trafficking. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? And so basically, child trafficking, right? You're arrested for that. So there should be an arrest paper, right? But there is none. And that is because this was a setup. And if you look at the media, they use this little puppet girl to make it look like she brought down this man. Understand this. This is the effect of all these lies. And here is the problem. Here is the problem. These are the lies that they've been telling about us Afro men and men in general, especially the strong ones who stand up for ourselves, especially the ones they try to keep silent on YouTube, Facebook, and stuff like that. All right, they've been telling these lies on us. I've been pointing them out. But guess who people don't share? Guess who people don't listen to? Right? The brothers like me. They'll go listen to people that have all these. There is a reason where I don't have a lot of panels that have women on them with me, debating with me. One, women can't debate with me about men issues. Women can't debate with me about what's going on in the community. And since we're not talking about family, where you would need women to provide a complete thing when we're talking about family, they can't debate with me on that because most good men are not kept as a part of strong families by the modern day Black woman. So there's no reason for me to have them on my YouTube and stuff like that. That's why when I was doing TikTok lives, all right, you don't see a lot of women up in there unless we're talking about something women specific. Women specific. If we're not talking about anything that's women specific, then we ain't talking about crap that they need to be a part of. Period. All right. So when you look at this, I want y'all to understand something. By any means necessary, they want dudes that follow other dudes to be weak and not ever get the gumption of saying, I'm not going to follow these dudes. I'm not going to follow who's popular. All right. And here's the thing. In scripture, this is the other reason. If you notice, I slowed down on these lives. I slowed down on YouTube and stuff because that was my fear. I understand that in scripture, we're not supposed to have people that follow us like that. That's idol worship. We're not supposed to have idol worship. All right. I want y'all to understand this. We are not supposed to have idol worship for this reason. When we make a man an idol, All right. When we idolize coochie, it destroys the community. It destroys men. It even destroys the dudes that's going after the coochie. All right. So that's what happens when we idolize coochie. When we worship other men and start building them up, and not just a bunch of men, but just one specific man, like an Andrew Tate, they will go after and attack him. All right. With me, they took down my YouTube channels and stuff like that. They took away Tommy Sotomayor. All right. What happened to me is different from what happened with other people. In that, with me, their issue with me is this: my data. All right. I was posting a lot of data to support the arguments that I was making. And when dudes was looking more for data than entertainment, they came to my channel. All right. When they were looking for things that would help them with wisdom, they came to my channel. All right. And now it is not about wisdom and anything. Dudes are going to people's channels to be entertained. Okay. And so as they're going to be entertained, all right, instead of listening to the wisdom that people are speaking, all right, the people that's speaking the wisdom are being taken out, or there's a big attempt to take them out. All right, so let's point out a couple of things. So, and this girl comes in, and this is the thing that's really bothering me. When I first, for those of you who's followed me for a minute, y'all know that I've always typed in caps because I knew that most people were looking at the data, most people were looking online, and most people were looking at everything from out of their cell phones. So out of courtesy to people, understanding that they're not going to be able to see all the stuff in a way, I started typing in caps so that they could see clearly. I think this is the garbage right here. All right. Lixo aqui. Necessito toalha para mão. Toalha para mão e só. Obrigado. Eu tenho vassoura para lixo. Eu tenho outras coisas. Obrigado. All right. And so that's basically it. They got even a lot of these young dudes away from listening to dudes that have wisdom about traveling, and they will go and they will look at dudes that can put women. And here's the thing, and this is what makes us so effed up as dudes, right? As men, all right? What makes us effed up as men is we don't become men. All right, we look at booty all day and think, oh man, look at that. All right, and so I was sitting here listening to this. Hold on.
Someone can say a name to you, and you're furious, and you go, "Why are you angry?" I don't know. Like that shows how programmed you are. They can control his emotions. They can control. Is say you're saying the truth.
All right, so hold on. Here we go. All right, so here we go. Let me show you this. I hope y'all can hear it. So they're being arrested here, and Andrew Tate calls out immediately that it's a setup. So they're in Romania.
But it is. I like to, it's kind of upsetting. I like to think that people at home know if I ever ended up in jail cell and the media started printing lie, that they know it's a pure lie and they made it up. Yeah.
So it's a pure lie and they made it up. So basically, it's like Cosby, it's like the deletion of Michael Jackson, the deletion of Prince, the deletion of everybody else. And a lot of people forget about what COINTELPRO really is about. A lot of people forget what COINTELPRO really is about. All right. A lot of people forget. The purpose of COINTELPRO. Let me just say this real quick. The purpose of COINTELPRO was to destroy strong Afro men that might be able to influence younger brothers. That's the purpose of it. When somebody got too powerful, hold on for a second. When somebody got too powerful, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. My COINTELPRO stuff. When somebody got too powerful, all right, what happened is that the powers that be, let me see if I can, here we go. Here we go, the goals. I want y'all to understand this. This is the goals of COINTELPRO. The goals, right? Understand this. Prevent the coalition of militant Black nationalist groups. And what they call militant is any group that thinks for themselves outside of what the white people have trained us, conditioned us, or programmed us to think. If you go outside the news and what they tell you to do, if you tell people, I'm not getting some poison thrown up in my arm from a government that we as Afro people could never trust when it comes to our health or these V's, these needle V's, right? And so, well, then that would make us militant. Okay. Now, interesting, prevent the rise of a Messiah who could unify and electrify the nationalist movement. Here, they understand what the definition of Messiah is. A Messiah isn't this peace-loving person. There was no Jesus in the old biblical history. There was no such thing. There were Messiahs. There were two of them, one in Jerusalem and one in Egypt. They were warriors. They were warriors, right? And so here's the second goal, right? They don't want us to have a movement as Afro people, but there is a movement that Afro people have, and it's an unexpected one. All right. And it was one that I promoted a long time ago. It was one of the reasons why they didn't want y'all to listen to me, but they didn't have to worry because they understood that a lot of y'all wouldn't listen to me because I'm just plain. I just put the truth out there like this, right? I put out data, and we want things to promote entertainment. We want to be entertainment. We don't want just plain old data. We want to see conflict, all right? We want to see that argument back and forth so that I could go at females and chop them up live. But it isn't about that. We know who they are. We're supposed to be more spiritual than that, right? And so here we go. When there is a leader, they want to prevent that black nationalist group and its leaders from gaining respectability by discrediting them to the community. Now, I want to concentrate on this 3 right here. This is why I said we cannot trust black women. I wanted to love them with all my heart, but I understand we can't trust them. Also understand that they have no love for me. I understand this, right? Here's the thing. And the reason why they have no love for men like me is because we are trying to be good men. We do help the community, and it goes against their narrative. There's a level of strength with me. I want y'all to understand this. There's a level of strength with me that I don't take their BS. All right. If I get with a black woman and we split up, oh well, we're done. Like Jerry Seinfeld, well, I hope life is better for you. We're done. I go my way. When we say that they don't want us happy, that's exactly what we mean. All right. So here we go. Prevent militant black nationalist groups and leaders from gaining respectability by discrediting them to the community. How does the government in the United States discredit black men? They use sex. And the reason why they use it, because this is the biggest weapon that women use against us, black women. Look at how they destroyed Mike Tyson. Look at how, if you look at how they went and tried to destroy men that try to do things, all right, and now there's some stuff even coming out with R. Kelly. There's some stuff coming out with R. Kelly that is now giving us pause that, damn, we can't trust any black women. And here's the thing. It's not that all black women lie or untrustworthy. It's just that so many, almost most, if not most, and I'm gonna dare say most, statistically, lie that we, in the laboratory, back in the day when we referred to AIDS as HTLV3, okay, that goes back when it first came out. Because we didn't know what was danger, we came up with a thing called universal precaution, that you treat every vial of blood that you're testing as if it had HTLV3. That's what we used to call AIDS, HTLV3. All right. So you treated every sample as if it could be that. Well, now the Afro man has to use universal precaution when dealing with black women. Basically, we have to use universal precautions when dealing with black women. Because of this, part 3, prevent militant black nationalist groups and leaders from gaining respectability by discrediting them to the community. How do they do that? Sex, right? What are the main things that black women, a lot of them, are saying in droves about passport bros? What are they calling them without evidence? And actually, the evidence is to the contrary of what they're saying. And they know this, but they are lying. They know they're lying, but they continue to spread these lies on TikTok and YouTube. What are they trying to do? The same thing that the white men were doing to Martin Luther King, to Malcolm X, to all of those leaders back in the 60s. And that is to prevent militant black nationalist group and leaders. In this case, the group would be Red Pill, SYSBM. And it's not, all of these seem like different groups, but there's only one idea behind all of these groups. It's a bunch of Afro men waking up. FYSBM is not a group. It's a bunch of dudes telling brothers, save yourself, black men, because you are on your own. It is obviously the black women as a group do not give a damn about you. They will persecute you, and they will use this plan of attack, number 3, against you if they can't get what they want from you. And what they want is for you to throw away your manhood and be subservient to them, be their slave. They want your resources for themselves, and they still want you to fight a war that they start and risk your life so that they don't ever have to have any consequences for their actions. All right, that's part 3. And so when you look on TikTok, when you look on YouTube, and you see all these things that black women are saying without evidence, which things that they know is a lie, they know this is a lie. They are disparaging other women, other black women, other women of other cultures. They are disparaging their countries. And furthermore, they are trying to label the Afro man that gets a passport with the most heinous of crimes they can do, so that the plan was to make us undesirable to everybody, because the same way that white men labeled us back in the 60s, 50s, 40s, and 20s, all the way to slavery, even though we worked almost a 24-hour day during slavery, we were considered to be lazy while they sit up in their house and did none of the work. I want y'all to think, look at that, right? An oxymoron, right? And so the same tack that they've taken, this is what the black woman has taken over men who can get passports. Why? Because they're trying to prevent us from gaining respectability by discrediting us to the community in the United States and to the communities in the rest of the world, because they know that TikTok is a worldwide phenomenon. I want y'all to understand this, all right? The other thing about this is this. The more they do this, the more of a pariah that they are to Afro men, but they can't see that. Because when a heart is so corrupted, when a heart is so corrupted in anger because they can't control real men, all right, there is no coming back from that. Brittany Renner wanted to consider sex as spiritual now, when it's no longer spiritual, because not only did she give up her virginity, but she gave up the coochie, outed dudes, put them on blast, discredited them, hustled them, and now she's looking still not for a regular dude. She's looking for a dude with money to help her to take care of her children, and all of a sudden sex is spiritual for a 304. I want y'all to understand this. All right? And here's the last one. The final goal should be to prevent the long-range growth of militant black nationalist organizations, especially among the youth. So any brother with wisdom that the youth listen to, we are banned, shadow banned on YouTube, shadow banned on TikTok, shadow banned on Facebook. All right, Twitter is becoming a new mechanism. Twitter is becoming a new mechanism. One of the things I want y'all to understand is we get into the problem with Andrew Tate. A lot of the young brothers are listening to him, so they have to discredit him. So they have him arrested, right? And then the newspapers present a false narrative of what the arrest was about. He comes out the next day, but then his name is kind of ruined. But then his name really isn't ruined to those of us that see truth. And to those that are seeking truth are looking to the words that he was saying, comparing it to what's going on. We're like, oh yeah, he's right about that, right? And again, these are excerpts from the FBI COINTELPRO document. So this is the FBI. This is what they had in store for us. Yeah, the FB freaking I. All right. And then you look at the black woman in America who's taking this tact. And then you look at this dude who's going out into these other places, Andrew Tate, and it's other people trying to have him arrested. And understand this. They just wanted him arrested, and they said, we'll fill in the blanks on what the arrest is about, because we know that the American citizen, understand this, the American citizen do not look at the news with skepticism, wanting proof. They will read the headlines and go read a false narrative. And now, right? And now, because of Obama, the news media can be propaganda, which that's all the news media is, right? And so until somebody shows, when somebody says somebody you like is arrested, wait for documentation to come out to see what the arrest is about. Because y'all know he was arrested and then he's out today with no charges. Let that sink in, people. He's out today. Andrew Tate is out today with no charges. He was released from prison today with no charges, apparently. Why? Because it is that easy to set a man up. I don't know what's going on now. Hold on for a second. Okay. All right. So I don't know. I can't see my comments. Okay, there we go. So what's up, Philip? What's up, Alec Jones? I know it's early. This is early for y'all. It's late in the afternoon for me. So please excuse me. I'm trying to read your comment, but for some reason, Facebook isn't allowing me to. Let me just press buttons. No, don't need that. Interesting. Nope, don't need that. It looked like David had a good point, but I'm not able to see it. So I don't know what's going on. But in any case, brothers, I wanted to put this out there live real quick, because there's an attack on good Afro men. There's an attack on Afro men that would dare travel. And these people on the left, and it's always been them. Let me say this. Let me say this. From Jim Crow all the way up past the 60s and everything, the people that have attacked us in such a way have always been on the left. The right may have allowed it, meaning not stood up for it. So the right has never stood up for righteousness. They have never stood up for justice. But they're not the ones that have actually done the attack. It's always come from the left. It's always come from you Democrats, from the Democrats. Always. All right. There was no change in the Democrat didn't become good. It never did. It's just that more black people became suckers in the 70s because more of us started following our women and their feelings instead of being men and standing up for ourselves and our values. Men set the values of the community. Women don't. When women are setting the values of a community, that community is in the midst of destruction. Mark my words. All right. So with that said, since this thing is acting haywire, oh, there we go. I tried. Yeah, I feel you, David Bowman. So what I've said, take heed. Take heed. Because when we rise up as individuals and people follow us instead of become active, and that's what you have. You have a lot of dudes following people. Oh, so-and-so said this, so-and-so said that. Right? But then when you look at them, you see that they are making no difference in their lives. And you have to ask yourself, so dude, what is your purpose? Right? And so they're not physically doing anything. I had a dude that's never donated to my channel, that's never shared a video. I want y'all to understand it. There was a dude that asked me on Messenger if I could send him $300 that I really don't have, right? There has been no donations to my channel the last month. They'll donate to other people to help make their studio. Why? Because they like hearing that conflict, men against women. I don't preach conflict, right? Basically, I don't preach conflict. I don't agree with nothing that women have to say. And so basically, I don't have them on because I don't want conflict. I want brothers to understand the truth. All right? When brothers understand the truth and become strong, wherever woman gets with him, and it'll more likely be a good one, then he could build a stronger family unit because he's equipped. He's less likely to choose a toxic woman that wants him destroyed or that really wants to control him instead. See, I understand this? All right. And so basically when you look at it, we are targeted. And if brothers don't understand it, they're going to be destroyed. Not even lost. Most dudes are lost, and they're going to be the first ones destroyed. The lost ones are going to be destroyed because one of the things that I was watching in this Pearly Things thing, right? Andrew Tate, and this is why this and his comment, his clap back on this girl who tried to shame him from having a small Chuck Berry song, you know, my dingling. Well, anyway, he said this, that everyone that believed in something in all these wars were fighting to die for what they believe in. The reason why feminism is fake, because they can't defend that belief. Feminists cannot defend feminism. Feminists cannot defend feminism. They need to go get weak men to defend feminism because they can't defend it. Understand this. Nor are they willing to die defending it. They want men who are willing to sacrifice their life on their behalf to defend something that is not in the interest of the men getting ready to die. That would make them men suckers, fools, unwise, and pathetic. Period. That's what that would make those men. Suckers, fools, unwise, and pathetic. And it makes those men easy to be betrayed by those women. Those women don't want them. They use them as cannon fodder. Because feminists cannot defend feminism. They have destroyed families, and they have destroyed the country, and they have gone, their way of life is destroying under other countries right now, to the point where if masculinity, if they push, and they've already pushed too far. Right now, you got men that's doing the thing that they're like, you know what? We're not going to fight these other men back. We don't even want the country that these women made it into. And so they're leaving. We're leaving. Gone. The reason why, number 3 in the COINTELPRO paper, to prevent the men from gaining respectability, why the women have decided to use that form of attack for Afro passport brothers, because the whole world, I want y'all to understand this, the whole world has adopted a culture that we created in the midst of oppression. Like hip hop, jazz, funk. All right. The whole world is in awe of who we are, both mentally, spiritually, especially spiritually and physically. All right. And since the Black woman decided to throw away the best of the men that worked 9 to 5, that had a moral compass, and that were content in a family relationship, in a way that a man, here's something about these high value men. They're not high value. They're high dollar making, but what is value? If you're wanting a family, and if you want to and you want to build strong children, mentally and spiritually, those men don't value that. They value the dollar. So they're going to keep working for the dollar. The more money they make, the more money they're going to want to get. So there is no high value in that if you are a spiritual person. Now, a lot of these women claim to be spiritual person, but no, they're not. They're really 304s. They are either 304s for the D, or they're 304s for the dollar, the other D. All right. And so basically, brothers, watch your back. I'm gonna post this in the groups, right? I'm about to finish up. I'm gonna post this in the groups, all right? But watch your back, because Andrew Tate, look at what's happening to him. And he's kind of insulated. He kind of got money. He got a bunch of women. But basically, are they going to turn him into a martyr? And that's the point. They're trying to destroy him, destroy his name, so that when he is deleted, he won't be a martyr. But see, it ain't going to happen like that, because we remember how they did Cosby. And now we're questioning. I'm going to say this. This is how bad it is. Back in the day when R. Kelly went to trial, right? I never bought any of his music, none of it. When he went to trial for one particular incident, and that was allegedly, Dave Chappelle makes a lot of jokes about it, urinating on a human being. No, you don't do that, right? And I never bought anything else of his. To me, he was scum. For that act alone, he was scum. I didn't care too much of who the mom was allowing to screw this, that, and the other. That was really none of my business. That was the mom's business, the girl's business, R. Kelly's business. All that stuff that was going on. But that right there, when that got out, and I was like, oh, he did it. Okay, no, I'm out. Right? So since that incident, I never bought anything of his. So he goes in for this stuff, and now even I question. Think about it. A person that for one incident didn't buy any of it, just like totally nah. Even now, given to how they did Cosby, how they did everything else. Yes, exactly. Given how they did Cosby, I'm starting to question like what's really going on in the R. Kelly case. Because one of the things I could not understand is how did none of the women get in trouble? Because basically the women were running that whole thing until they got angry that money dried up. They were running that whole thing. So they decided to make more money on TV and being popular and having a story. Because there's one other thing for all the brothers, for all the real men. If you ain't a real man, then this ain't going to apply to you. All right? You're either a real man, a man, or you're a boy still. Or something else, but you're not a man. There is no such thing as that's her truth. Y'all need to leave that crap alone. That's something that some B-dub got you to say to support their narrative, right? There is no such thing as her truth, your truth. There is the truth. There is no such thing as her truth and your truth. There is only the truth. Again, let me repeat this. There is no such thing as her truth and your truth. This is something that primarily Black women made up so that they can lie. Let me say this again. This is a narrative or a phrase that Black women made up so that they could lie. There is no her truth, his truth. There is only the truth. If it's not the truth, then it's a lie. Understand this. All right. And so there's such thing as somebody's opinion and their experience. right? But a lot of these women, even when they're talking about their experience, they are lying. Let me say this again. A lot of the times when these women are talking about their experience, they are lying because they get away with lying all the time. They're starting to, it's getting to the point where they're finding out that most of the men who believe that the children they're raising is theirs, it may turn out that that child is not theirs. This is why you don't marry no 304. This is why you don't get with women with children. This is why if the body count of a woman matters. All right. And let me say this. When any woman tell you you got a small D, they're ruined. They're wore out. I would get away from them and I would tell them, you're so wore out that you're not worth even a rhetorical comeback. And I just walk away from them, because a virgin, to a virgin, understand this, size does not matter. Size does not matter. Look at Brittany Renner. How is she going to be good to an average man when she's been run through by everybody, to include unaverage men? Think about that. All right. There was, I didn't know this, I thought this person was a football player. There was an adult star. Her name was kind of like a football player. I've always thought it was a singer or a football player. What was her name? Hold on for a second. Her name was man, she had a name. She had a name, and I promise you, until I saw this video today, I thought she was until I saw this today, I thought this woman was a I thought this woman, okay, hold on for a second. I'll find it in a minute.
Any guy who
Mia Khalifa. Mia Khalifa. I thought that was like a singer or something. All right, I thought Mia Khalifa was a singer. Okay. And she was up here giving people advice on older men talking to younger women, how she thought it was creepy, right? I thought Mia Khalifa, that I was like, oh wow, okay, football. Mia must be a new rapper or something. No, an adult movie person. I wouldn't even say a star, but an adult movie person, female, right? Going to give her disapproval of men talking to, older men talking to younger women. It's okay for older women to be cougars, but you know, but in this, right? In this is how far this goes. Where you got somebody like a Mia Khalifa, an adult star, trying to tell men they're wrong
for not wanting to date women like her. Acá está libre. Oh, Lord, I'm tired of dealing with this woman. Posso ir agora. Posso ir agora. It's libre. She woke up late. All right, so anyway, this woman was supposed to call me earlier. It's all good though. But anyway, so that's basically it. So a lot of these things, okay, a lot of these things, F it, right? F it. Brothers, it is what it is. We're being lied to consistently because we're being trained to see phrases that are basically a lie, like that's her truth. No, she wants to lie to you, so she's going to call it her truth. All right, so no, we don't put up with this anymore. There is the truth. There is not her truth, his truth. There is the truth. All right, there are provable facts, not your feelings. All right, facts matter in coming to the truth. F your feelings, right? And I straight up tell them, F your feelings. I don't care about your feelings. When your feelings have destroyed the Afro community in such a way we're going extinct, your feelings no longer matter to me. Period. All right. There is not her truth. When they say this is my truth, she's lying more often than not. All right. And stats bear that out. Women have always lied way more than men. But because we was programmed by them because they couldn't control men, that the men lied, no. Women have always, when we look at scripture and what a lie is, bearing false witness against your neighbor, women have done that way more than men. Way more than men. A lot more innocent Afro men are behind bars, behind the lies of a black woman than any other group of people. That's mainly because of proximity, but that's mainly because a lie is a weapon in their toolbox to try to get us to do what they want. They have always been, but now we have to realize the most vicious weapon supremacy has against us. Period. The most vicious weapon supremacy has against the Afro male. Why? Because they could destroy us as boys. And that's what many of them have done. They destroyed the minds of boys so that they would not grow into strong men. I want y'all to think about that. So with that said, I'm out. Let me call this woman up. And I will talk to y'all later. Peace, love, and soul, y'all. Again, just a reminder. This is it, brothers. And look at that BW next to you. Because she's more likely than not to be a weapon to be used against you. And she'll do it willingly. That's what we're finding out in this modern era. And it's the same as it was for Afro men in the 60s. All right. So, in all that get an understanding. As Afro men, the thing you got to think about now is how to fight back from such injustice that the United States is able to reach out across the world to persecute us as men when we decide to think and think like men instead of pander like simps. Let me know what you think in the comments section. And don't forget to subscribe or whatever. With that said, I'm out.